some man with no name here. We are here because earlier this year I did a survey with the concluding of the German frontal assault. Everybody kind of pitched in. I gave three options. Only two voted on. Was a new conquest series, and then there was also the option for tutorials. And so what I'm going to do today in this small little segment series, I am going to go through the basic combat training 1939 to 1941 boot camp. I've never done this. I did the trial by fire, I guess you could say, but not really. That was more of just the infantry control that ultimately was from part of the tutorial, just figuring out the game. But everything else I've done just playing and figuring it out on my own. Not that I'm great or anything, but I'll enable Fog of War hardcore just so we get an idea of how to play. This one's going to be for infantry, and then as you can see, vehicle, AT guns and artillery, reinforcements, and then trial by fire, which is the main mission, which I've beaten twice or three times now, but it's not shown here. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into this mission. So this is for infantry. It's going to essentially kind of give a breakdown of the overview of the game, X, Y, and Z,
Welcome
but
to
I
boot
do it
camp,
in
soldier.
a combat.
In this tutorial, you will learn how to control infantry, the most common and important type of unit in the battlefield.
About time. Park the truck and unload.
During a cutscene, you cannot control your units. Some cutscenes, like this one, can be skipped. To do so, press the Continue button on the top right corner.
So we're not going to worry about most of the cutscenes.
Soldaten, welcome to the Ostfront. You are now in the front line. If you want to remain in one piece, you will follow all my orders to the letter. The first thing you need to know as infantrymen is to always seek cover. In the open, you are vulnerable. Cover improves your survivability and your aim. Now, take cover behind the sandbags.
So you can kind of see you have bad cover, you have medium tier cover, which is going to provide you that, and then you have really good cover, you know, in the foxhole. And then you have cover concealment there, but still, I mean, if your combat settings for attack is on, then you'll start firing and give yourself away.
To move your soldier, select him and right-click on the destination. A double click will make him sprint until his stamina runs out. If you move your cursor close onto objects, it will prompt the soldier to take cover, previewing a silhouette. Now, make your soldier take cover with the rest of the men.
So we have the silhouette here, multiple things you can do. Wherever that silhouette is, that's where they're going to be. We're going to send him here. Double clicking will, most of the time, disregard other enemies,
Well
and
done.
he'll sprint.
You should always move your troops from one cover to the next.
Guess I gotta hit continue. The camera scrolling in, you can get a better atmosphere. Then holding in the mouse 3 will allow you to get a different pan of view. That's how I rotate the camera. Everything else, you can also do it up and down, getting more of a side view. I don't use WASD as much just because it's slower. And then also the mini-map that also shows where your troops are at and what they can see. And then any other AIs, then you can fast forward over there. Right-clicking on the mini-map, that is how you'll get to that next section. It also picks up firing. You can see on the mini-map how it will show tracer rounds of where it's firing. It does it for artillery, does it for mortars when those rounds are in view. So you'll have your own artillery picking
We seem
that
to be
up.
clear. MG Team 1, stay here. Everyone else, forward. Take position on the stone fence. Los geht's.
So
You must be
basically,
aware of your mission objectives. You can always open your mission tasks with the hotkey O.
so there we go. We have our tasks. So this is our one soldier. Now a couple things on the taskbar since we're here. You can see his weapon is not out. So you have, this is the firing mode. It goes from no fire at all to return fire if he's getting shot at, and then fire at will. Halt is, you know, mobility wise, if they see enemies, say in this tree line, and it's feasible for them to just be out of range, they may re-engage. Now, I keep this off because I like them staying put, because more times than not, they'll wander out into the field. Then lastly, on the top row, you have the crouch, prone, and then standing position. That's for your unit. I don't do that. I'll either do, I have it set where it's control left. Control is prone, and then left alt is going to be crouched. Now you have your targeting positions, which this is your taskbar down here. You can have this set up, but most of it's been changed with the last update back in the summer into early fall. But here you have you have an F1, so you don't necessarily have to. If you have the controls right, you can hit F1. You have the grenade ready to roll, and then you just point to where. I don't really mess with this a whole lot just because it's a little bit of a tedious task to do. Now, with the infantry, you can't really do it with the other units like artillery or field guns. I guess you can, but it's just slower fire rate. But if you have a group of infantry, you can hit this suppressing fire button, which this will, for like 30 seconds, he'll shoot in this direction and just basically spam fire. That would have been ideal, as in the scenario where the machine gunner's here, suppressing fire this, everybody's moving up. Now he'll do that for like 30 seconds. Now you also have attack, which is going to be, I want you to attack here, and then move to it, or fire concentrate. This is also where I would fire, and I do use this on artillery and mortars. That is very beneficial. Then you have your melee option, you know, go up there and actually melee somebody. They're kind of funny watching sometimes, but I don't really mess with that either. And then you have your focus shot, but that's automatically something snipers do. Now your fixed assets are going to be healing, which is down here on your taskbar, so you don't ever have to come to this menu. You do, if you have an engineer or equipped a minesweeper or metal detector, you can click this option, and then there's this taskbar will pop up, basically like these crosshairs but different, and you can click, and then they will start surveying the area where they will go out, and if they're in the radius of the mine sweeper, then they will find the mines so you don't get blown up. Now I don't know if this will work or not, but this is the repair option. I do use this one all the time just because it's convenient. I know where it's at. But if for whatever reason this was to sustain damage, I don't know if I can hurt it. I'm kind of walking through this as we go just so it's relevant. Maybe immune to damage. Yeah. But if there was like damage from battle, you can hit this button here, which will repair, and they will automatically run up. Now, you have to have a repair kit, but in most cases, your supply, all your vehicles, AT equipment, artillery, anything fixed and placement wise is going to have at least 2 to 3 or more supply or repair kits, and then if they have fuel, they'll have fuel canisters that are empty, which is another tedious thing. Now, you also have mines for anti-personnel mines, which is a hot bar here, and then you also have the AT mines, which I come here to. They used to be down here in the hotbar section, but they're removed now. I believe you can just kind of solely fix that on your command bar again, but I just kind of got in the process of this. Wire cutters, this is for concertina wire, which I don't think there is any on view. If you have an engineer with clippers, then you could send them up and clip the wire so you could cross through. Satchel charge, that is going to be in engineers, the pioneer squads from the Germans factions, and then also they all are in your light, medium, and heavy tanks will have one satchel charge in their inventory. Now, picking up, this is to pick up any equipment on the ground, such as a dropped weapon, or sometimes you can pick up mines, and that's essentially what that is for. You can also pick up bodies, like there's a stealth mission or two in the campaign series that we have now that you can pick up a body, but in the inventory system they have to have a lot of room. I think it's a 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 by 8 section for their body to fill. And then lastly, dropping is the same thing. So if they have something in their hands, like a jerry can or something, you can put it down there. Going through this, you have the settings. This is specific, so you know the rally. I don't really do this. The sprint's always on. I never see the syringe option available, even with there. You also have the fill the gas can into the vehicle, or take the vehicle fuel into the gas can. And then, as we got on the subject, you have the weapon out or stowed option. I just always keep it out. I don't ever stow it. Now, if you were wanting to, you know, do some different types of stuff with your videos, then that would make sense. Now, moving along, we have the rotating option, which again, I don't really do that either. So it would mainly just apply to AT guns or artillery. That was what I would predominantly move that for, or tanks you can. But typically, if I want someone to face something, I'll put the position where they're at, right click, and then angle it which way I want them to look. So if I want him looking back towards this building, he'll move, and then he's aiming towards that door. Same thing with tanks and everything else, orientation. Now, the emplacements tool, the only thing that you're really going to have with infantrymen is going to be a shovel for foxholes, which is there, but I'll save that for when we probably do it in a minute. These low and medium-sized sandbags, which you see here and here, those are going to be for engineers, concertina wire, tank hedgerows. You have the artillery wall, which is going to be for the Finnish faction. You have a big trench. You have your mortar trench. You have your tank trench, and then this other bunker are the heavy heavy engineer options for the Finnish class only. Now, what I do is click on this, and then you can see it. You can also place their orientation, how you want them to face, and release, and then they'll go start digging. Lastly, you know, if you want to reload or whatever, but he's already reloaded, so nothing else there. Lastly, before we move on, there is this examine button. This is how you would examine. You click it, and then they examine the inventory. Now what I do is I have it hot tasked to X. C will show me barrels, anything like weapon related, so barrels, mines, weapons, and then V is view, and you'll see like dead bodies on the ground. And then that's beneficial to go like get ammunition. Now, with the inventory system, it can get very complex very quickly. In this inventory, this is the specific inventory for this one unit that I have here. You have a Kar 98, probably, 30, 40 rounds of ammunition, a smoke grenade now because I did use the potato masher, 100 rounds of belt fed, a 7.92 millimeter machine gun for the MG34 or 42 variant, depending on what you're using, some bandages, a shovel, and his helmet. The helmet I haven't really seen give a option of health per se, but it is something that you can take on and off. I don't really mess with this feature, I guess, if you really wanted to do something editing wise. But so inventory can be as complex or as simple as you want it to be. I do inventory predominantly with MG and assistant MG operators, and then anti-tank and support anti-tank options. Also supply. So if I wanted to place something in here for a room, boom. Now this truck has this inventory for the machine gun. Vice versa. If I want to take a repair kit, I can either take one by shift click, or I could just right click and all of them go into the inventory. Same with the fuel. If I want to take this fuel out of this vehicle, I'll take the fuel can. I go to the quickest way, instead of going through the taskbar, is go into inventory, just click it and just leave it up. Right click on it, he will equip it, and then I can right click over the vehicle and you can watch it in the bottom left corner here, and now you have 20 of 20. Now if I was going to fill up this car, this one's full, so it's not going to work, but I went to another car, right click again, I'll fill the vehicle back up, and 0 of 20. So then you would just repeat that process. That is the old school way of doing it. They have it supply trucks now, so I would recommend not being tedious. But some missions are tedious that you have to do that. One last thing with infantry. You can do this infantry on infantry as well, or just anything really. But we'll continue on. I did want to break that down because I don't know how sophisticated or not that this will be. Now here's the walk option. I just clicked it, and then here's the sprint option. You can see his stamina down here. Him sprinting will get him there quicker, and he may disregard most
Bolsheviks will be
bullets
coming down
at him.
that road any minute now. We will ambush them. Soldaten, get ready.
Okay. So this is predominantly for this is strategy. This is just like old school, like, hey, you do this, bam bam bam. Now direct control, I love direct control. This is great. Now this is a third person, this is the overview, and the third person is my favorite. I will hit E and then hit T, and then you can go into a third person view. By far my favorite. I love direct control with the tanks especially.
Alright, I can see the Ivans. Hold your fire until they are in front of us.
Okay. So you're probably not going to run into this very much. I don't really use this. I just keep fire at will all the time. But I'm not going to be able to get the MG.
Now give them hell!
But this would be regular. And if you want, you can go ahead and... Now the crossbar shows the accuracy of the rounds. You see it go red, that means you're not getting an effective hit. And then... Now, one thing, I don't really like using third person unless I have a tank
Very good.
way off here and
You
I'm
have
doing
achieved
tank
your
AT
first
gun.
kills. The more kills you
Or-
achieve, the higher your veterancy. You will improve your shooting and survival skills.
or I will use it
Our
for...
neighboring squad
Hold on.
has found pockets of resistance up ahead. There is an MG pinning our boys down. We are behind them. I need you to get close and throw a grenade on that MG nest.
So, simple flanking tactics, right? So, the veterans see what it is talking about. We've already gone through this, so we know what to do here.
Approach the MG nest carefully from behind.
Okay.
Move from one bush or cover to
So
the
this
next.
is what I'm talking about. You have a
Prone
highlight
soldier
option,
will be
so
hard
you
to
can
spot.
get options
When the MG
for
nest is
grenades
taken out,
from
the
dead
rest of the
bodies.
squad will assist you in taking
And
out
then
the
I do
remaining
have the weapons,
Soviets.
so if I wanted to pick up another weapon, I have the option to do that as well. So let's do that real quick, since he has a fully automatic weapon. And it'd be a whole lot better in this bolt action for this scenario. And then I'll take his ammo, his grenades, and a little bit of health, just in case I run out. As I was saying, with the direct control far off, I only use this for field guns, artillery, and also tanks when there's a far away opponent. I don't really do anything else with infantry, unless it's a sniper with the direct control option. Now, with the carefulness, it's kind of back and forth. If you were wanting to sneak up on something, I would just low crawl up. But since it's just one infantryman, I'm pretty much always going to have a grenade pepped. I do third control for this so I get the range more accurately, because here it's kind of hard to gauge it, because it'll mess up with the line. And then I cook the grenade for a split second so they don't have an option to run away, and then boom.
Well done,
Taking
man.
it out.
Finish these Ivans off.
Now, what we really could do here...
Quite often, you will need to get rid of remaining enemies to proceed with the next stages of a mission. Keep an eye out for enemies who may be concealed in the fog of war. For example, hiding in trenches.
That is a true statement. So, one thing I do not like about the targeting system is you have this red or this green dot, such as here. And it's fine for infantry riflemen, but when you get into, say, like the overall... Let's see if this guy will shoot me. Okay. Oh, watch out, dude. He threw a grenade. Now, if that guy was me getting injured, he would be... You have to watch these crevices, because more times than not, you'll just get popped. So, I just like to throw a grenade and flush him out.
Look at that. The Ivans have unwillingly brought us a truck. Go and look if it has any
Sweet.
weaponry we can loot.
Okay. So this gets back into the inventory,
Select your soldier and press X or click the examine icon.
which we have
When you
already
hover
went
over
into.
the vehicle, the cursor will change to an eye. Transfer any AT grenades from the inventory of the truck to your soldier's inventory.
So we're gonna go ahead and flank over here. Now, what I was saying about the dot, it's fine, but when you start getting into the realm of shooting AT guns or tanks and stuff like that, you get into the range, and AA is probably the worst, which we'll see down the road, because you have this red. The green dot represents like, hey, this is you have pretty accurate. The white circle all the way in shows the most accurate shot. You have a 4, which is like a rating status. It goes all the way up to 9 that I've seen. Now, if I was way over here and got the top of this tree, you have a 1. And then if I can go further, you have a red. That means it's out of effective range. Now, the one thing I hate about the AA is trying to shoot planes out of the air. You don't have very good range to begin with, and then you end up
Infantry
shooting
can
just
move in any
flaring
terrain.
out.
Vehicles,
Issues.
especially wheeled vehicles, must use roads to travel at maximum speed, which makes them easy to ambush.
Damn it! There's a Soviet tank ambushing us from the other side of the farm. Get behind it and destroy it with the grenades that you fight.
so this is one of my favorite things to do, is just ambush and flank.
Buildings and other objects block the line of sight of units. You can see the enemy tank because other friendly units are actively fighting, but no enemy unit is currently able to see your soldier. Because of this, you can easily flank the enemy tank without being detected.
So, you know, definitely check your corners. And then as you can see, what he's saying is a fog of war. You have this here. I can see what's going on. They can't see me. Sometimes AI cheats and will track you through the wall, but that's not what's important right now. Premise, now this window, that could be an option. That window could be an option. And then Beaker's advantage here. So come up. He's already coming around. He knew I was coming. It's kind of part of what I'm talking about. Throw a grenade if it's close. I don't have to question it. And then any of them coming out, just make sure they don't have a chance to repair or damage, you know. There we go.
Good job. Blown to smithereens. Now, finish off the remaining infantry.
Then I do this for quick grenade. That's gonna blow there. Lieutenant, give me more ammo. Now, I don't think I've sustained any damage. That'd be one thing to show. I'm just intentionally running over here. Dude, no, he shot at me once. I do like to storm trenches in the trench. It is kind of hard sometimes, though. Just keep that in mind. So, like here, you have to be careful because you have this long canal. So, in my opinion, it would probably be better just to yob and get in there. There you go. Don't have to worry about it. Boom. Check it just in case. Nothing. And then this is being very courteous. Like, you have a very big delay of reveal fog of war sometimes. So that is something that you have to be note in your tactics as well. You have an AT gun, which is great for light armor, light vehicles, stuff like that. You have a medium Panzerfaust, which is a one-shot only. It is pretty good with disabling and sometimes even destroying armor. There is two variants of the Panzerfaust. The bigger one is pretty effective. You have the Panzer Shrek, which is really good. And then the flamethrower. Definitely aim for the tank engine in the back, and you'll desecrate and catch the vehicle on fire in a matter of seconds, and boom, there you go. Tank is going to be effective for a few more seconds, and then it's destroyed.
Enemy armored car coming down the road.
Yeah, I know I'm doing a little bit more of a breakdown
Fortunately,
of this,
we are
but
prepared for
it's all
this.
good.
Take command of the AT riflemen and turn that armored car into Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese, huh? So here's the AT support that I was talking about. I can't, but if I was going to take all my rounds, he gives quite a bit. The AT support would have part of the AT rounds. He actually probably carries more than the actual AT guy himself. So I would get his inventory, take all of the rounds for the AT gun and equip it. The other option is if you keep them both selected in the same platoon or squad, they will both be sharing inventory status, which would be rifle or grenades, etc. Now, if they're separated, then you're not going to have the shared inventory. This mainly works with MGs and AT support with their counterparts. So, effective hits are, if you want, is either taking out the engine block, which is the easiest thing to do, but this is what I wanted to show you a second ago. Oh, I have unlimited health. Okay. You have to be in an effective range to be able to take with this light armor as well. So just remember that when you are taking shots at this thing. Normally I would be dead already. The reload for some reason makes so you can't get a good hit like that. And then
Well done, men.
just be
You have
mindful.
completed my instructions to the letter.
Be mindful of everything when you're getting range. Sneaking up on them is very, very good. You can do that. Now, I can get, inventory here. Now, here's my other infantryman. There's a couple other things that I want to show you very quickly with the infantry, and the only way I'm going to be able to do it is with this AT as well as this infantryman. Please excuse the victorious music in the background. So, when infantry to infantry, if this was my, let's say that this was my, let's see here, I can drag and drop, which is a nice feature. We'll just give him the ammunition, and we'll drop that shovel because it's irrelevant. So, what I want to show here is really quickly. Let's get it where. Okay.
Jawohl!
So he's got 9 shots. I'll let him do his thing. It's gonna take forever to reload. I'm sorry, but what I want to show you the shared inventory, and then just showing you the trade for trade there. So you see he has 5 rounds, but no reloadable ammo.
Jawohl!
Now you can
Wie
see
lauten die
now
Befehle?
we're good to go. He's got 48 rounds again. He doesn't have any in his inventory status, but this infantryman here has the AT rounds. So when they're shared in sister squad, their sisters in squad or whatever, this applies. MGs are the same way. This also applies to AT, like bazooka rounds to bazooka, etc., etc. The thing that was not shown is digging a trench. So, aside from having a trench, I meant to say foxhole, you have the option to do a foxhole. Now, clearly, you can do one. You can also shift and click. And then if both of them have shovels, then they will begin to dig shovels. But we did get rid of the shovel. But as you can see, there is all the grenades that I dropped from the other infantryman's inventory, as well as the shovel. The kind of only thing that I guess doesn't correspond with me is the trench does provide very good cover. However, you have exposure just to your face, and so then it's like, all right, cool. You do have enough spacing. I've gotten 3 people in here before, but effectively it's just 1 to 2 people.
Wann geht's endlich los?
As
Was
you
sollen
see
wir
here.
tun?
And then, obviously, here you also have the whole entire trench. Now, if you have them in a squad, as you can see, you have the 2. Now, if it went up to 3, 4, 5, they'd be down the road. Some of them will be crouched. Some of them might be facing the wrong way. So when that happens, I just have to go in and manually select them and say, if the guy was positioned here, and obviously this is the orientation of where the enemy's going to come from, I just find a position that is in line with, hey, I want you facing that way, shoot that way. And that would be a fix for that. The other options here are you can make them get into a structure, which is nice feature here. And so if you want them to, they can occupy certain buildings. They can come in here and stake on the windows, and then they'll be able to shoot out the window. Now, direct control's a little whack in this because you can't really see out. and I can aim and hit where I'm aiming, but this wall's in the way. So, you know, third overview direct control would be probably a better idea here, or just let them do their thing. You have to be mindful that this is technically a fixed structure, but an AT round with HE or a artillery, mortar, etc. can blow this up, so your units are not entirely invulnerable to every little thing that comes. Lastly, you can't really see it, but you got to see it with the field of view. There's a kind of cone-shaped 180 degrees almost. Look at it like in perspective of this on the minimap. I can't see through there, so anything I'm not looking at on the minimap, you can see it up in the top left corner, the cone of the minimap. That is the view of my infantrymen. So anything behind that wood pallet, that house, unless I see it through the window, is going to be invisible. Now you have to be mindful, again, if there's someone standing right on the other side of this corner waiting for you, that's, you know, more times than not, AI is going to be tracking you through the wall and just watching. I'll many times popped around the corner and just got domed and died instantly. So you do have to be careful of that, because there is a delay. I'll pop around the corner, then boom, then it pops up. The only other thing that is on here that I'm not capable of showing you right now is entering the vehicle, etc., etc. But I hope you guys found this basic infantry tutorial helpful. It also was added, you know, improvised you know, tactics and information that did not get displayed in the overall section that is brought to you part by the game. So hopefully this is beneficial to you guys. I know that there's very limited features on here, but I've never done these, and I thought it was a good segue to help people out that are new to this game and trying to figure it out. There's also infantry classes such as you know, you have your infantrymen here, which is fine. You have your veterancy, which, again, this maximizes your base health and your stamina. The only way you can really see this stat is if you play Conquest, which obviously you guys seen. I've broke it down in videos before, but now you get a better idea of it. You have veterancy down here in the bottom corner. This infantryman's a veterancy level 2, and he needs 2 more points to get to veterancy level 3. Maxed out, you know, they're going to have top rated health, top rated stamina and regen and stuff like that. This building material, that is like stamina, so there is a cooldown between times that an infantryman can, say, dig a foxhole or whatever the case may be. So there is that. You do have a quick option here of the third person view. So if I was in direct control, I can do that, or I have direct control on the command. So you can see the option there. There's DC and then third person. I always do that. Normally, quick fix for that is just T. You can alternate very quickly back and forth. I do it all the time in my playthroughs. And then, guys, I mean, really that's about it. If there's anything else on infantry you would like to see, definitely let me know. I'm trying to battle a very, very busy and rigorous schedule right now, but I'm trying to make this content for you guys. So, that being said, that is the conclusion of a very basic infantry guide. Hope that it was beneficial, helpful, etc. And we will see you guys in the next tutorial. Excuse me, sir. I need you to look up at me here. Look. No. Okay. You just stay there. There. Up this fence is in the way.
Geht's
You know
los?
what? We have an option for that. Stand by. I guess we could have just looked that way, but nah. So, you guys call it good. I'll call it good, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.